Ramanuja was Lakshmana Avatara. First Yugam was Adishesha. Second Yugam, Lakshmana. Adishesha incarnates as Lakshmana in Treta Yuga. And in the third Yuga, Balarama. Fourth Yuga, Kalau Ramanujastada. He incarnates as Ramanuja. So Adishesha was Lakshmana. The same Adishesha was Ramanuja even. Lakshmana was Ramanuja then. Lakshmana served Rama a lot. Now Rama also incarnates. Lakshmana too incarnates. Lakshmana incarnates as Ramanuja. Rama incarnates as Dasharathi. I had already told that Mudaliyandan was called, his original name was Dasharathi. The name given by his parents was Dasharathi. Dasharathi is the name of Rama. Dasharathasya apatyam bhumanu Dasharathihi. Dasharatha's son was Dasharathi. So Rama was born in Punarvasu. Mudaliyandan Dasharathi was born in Punarvasu. So Rama was in Punarvasu star. Dasharathi in Punarvasu star. Now Lakshmana was Ramanuja. Ramanuja wants to reciprocate to Dasharathi now. How? In fact, Rama wants to reciprocate to Ramanuja. It was Rama who accepted all services from Lakshmana. So Rama wanted to reciprocate his services. How could he do? Now Rama is born as Dasharathi, the disciple of Ramanuja. Lakshmana is born as Ramanuja, the preceptor, the Acharya of Dasharathi. So Ramanuja, Lakshmana accepts all services from Rama Dasharathi. Swamy, this is in Kali Yuga now. In Treta Yuga, Lakshmana served Rama. In Kali Yuga, Rama serves Lakshmana. Ramana yar Mudaliyanda. Dasharathi da Mudaliyanda. So Mudaliyandan serves Ramanuja as Rama served Lakshmana. That's the reason why Ramanuja could not be separated from Lakshmana. He was Lakshmana. He could not separate from Rama. Did Rama ever separate from Lakshmana? Not at all. Lakshmana was born in this material world after Ramanuja enters. After Rama entered. But Lakshmana departs this material world before Rama departed. So Lakshmana has not lived in this world without Rama. He has always lived with Rama. So is the case with Ramanuja now. Ramanuja will not live in this world without Dasharathi Mudaliyandan. So Mudaliyandan, Vadukku Nalla Marumahan Andan, he was there to debate with anyone. Mudaliyandan had a great name to himself. The name is, his Sri Pada Tirtham was so important. Acharya Sri Pada Tirtham. Acharya blesses it with the water that has washed his lotus feet. Washing the lotus feet of Acharya and accepting that as a prasadam is a great practice. It in fact purifies us. It cleanses us all our papams. So Shripada Tirtham is very important. When Ramanuja was traveling west towards Melkote, along with Mudaliyandan, there was a village where it was full of Bauddhas and Jainas. No one could accept Ramanuja. They didn't subscribe to the philosophy of Ramanuja. They were indifferent towards him. Ramanuja said, I have a way to bring them around. Oh Mudaliyandan, tomorrow go to the village pond where people fetch water. Wash your feet in the village pond. As directed by Ramanuja, Mudaliyandan did. Next day in the afternoon, all the Jainas and Bauddhas came and prostrated to Ramanuja. They said, we all follow you. How did this happen? Was it a miracle? It happened because since Mudaliyandan washed his feet, that became the Shripada Tirtham. And when they took their pots full of water and had that water for cooking that day, they all turned. They were transformed by the Mahima of Shripada Tirtham of Mudaliyandan. So Mudaliyandan Shripada Tirtham is very important in our Sampradayam because that becomes Paduka Tirtham. Ramanuja Paduka is Mudaliyandan. So we accept Paduka Tirtham as Mudaliyandan Tirtham, the second relative of Ramanuja. Pavai Tangai Vadukku Valla Andan Marumahan Tambi Embar. Now let's move on to the third relative, cousin brother of Ramanuja, Tambi Embar. He was originally called as Govinda Perumal. Govinda Perumal. I can tell you the relationship. Periya Tirumalai Nambigal was a disciple of Yamunacharya. And he was a permanent resident of Tirumala. He lived there and did water kainkariam to Tirumalayappan, to Lord Srinivasa. He every day visited, he climbed up to Akasha Ganga and fetched pails of water from Akasha Ganga, offered to God for Snanam, Panam, Tirumanjanam, etc. He had two sisters, Pitamahasyapi Pitamahaya, Pracheda Sadesha Palapradaya, Sri Bhashakarottama Deshigaya, Sri Shaila Purnaya Namo Namastat. He was called as Sri Shaila Purna, Periya Tirumalai Nambigal. He had two sisters, Bhumi Devi and Sri Devi. Bhumi Devi's son was Ramanuja. Bhumi Devi was married to Keshava Somayaji. Keshava Somayaji and Bhumi Devi, one son, Perumanar Ramanuja, and to Sri Devi was born Govinda Perumal. So Ramanuja and Govinda Perumal were sisters' sons. They were related as cousin brothers. Ramanuja was the cousin brother of Govinda Perumal. When did Govinda Perumal be renamed as Embar? Why was he called Embar? Yam Perumanar was abridged to be Embar. Yam Perumanar, that was the full name of Ramanuja. Shorten it, abbreviate it, that became Embar. Embar was a sannyasi. Embar was the next Acharya to Ramanuja in the lineage of Sri Vaishnavism. Sri Vaishnava Guru Parampara nu solra. In that Paramparai, first is Shiman Narayana, Lakshmi Natha, next Lakshmi, third Vishwaksena, fourth Swamy Nammalvar, Natha Munigal, Uyyakondar, Manakkal Nambigal, Alavandar, Periya Nambigal, Yamberumanar, Yambar. Yambar Bhattar Nanjiya Nambilde. So Embar was the next to hold the head position. He led Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Embar did a yeoman service to Ramanuja. Ramanuja was in conflict with Mayavadi Yadava Prakasha. You might have read the life of Swami Ramanuja, the history of Ramanuja. He was first under the tutelage of Yadava Prakasha. He was studying. Yadava Prakasha gave a different interpretation to the Upanishadic verses. Ramanuja did not accept. He was against it. But whenever Ramanuja tried to give a different interpretation, Yadava Prakasha was irritated. So he thought, let me not allow Ramanuja to grow under me. Instead, let me kill him. So he made a plan, took him towards north. He made a plan to drown Ramanuja in Ganga and kill him. Somehow, it was Govinda Perumal who knew this. He overheard them. He knew that this was going to happen. So he cautioned Ramanuja, don't come. Now you stop here and return. Somehow slip from this group. Don't follow this group. This happened in the foothills of Vindhya range. Vindhya mountains, they the borderline between North India and South India. The northern part from Vindhya to Himachal is called as Aryavarta. The southern part from Vindhya to Kanyakumari is known as Dakshinavarta. One half of India is Dakshinavarta. The other upper portion is called Aryavarta. Ramanuja from Vindhya Parvata returned. He lost his direction. He could not move further. It was a dark, dense forest. Kanchi, Teva Perumal and Perundevi Tayar in the disguise of a gypsy. They took the vesham of the gypsy man and the gypsy woman. They led Ramanuja back to Kanchipuram. So this is all in the life story of Swami Ramanuja. It was Govinda Perumal who saved the life of Ramanuja, and then they all returned. He was called as Embar. Embar is the Thambi. He is the younger brother of Ramanuja, really. Physically even, he was the younger brother of Ramanuja. One Tangai, Andal, Marumahan, Mudaliyandan, Thambi, younger brother Embar. Embar later on became an ascetic. He too became a sannyasi. Embar Bhattar Nanjiyar. Then let us move on to the next relation. The relative of Ramanuja. Thidachanyana Selva Pillayo Maindan Sella Pillai Ramapriyan, the son of Ramanuja. Swami, how can you call God as the son of Ramanuja? Is Ramapriyan not God? Yes, he is, but he vanished from Tirunaranapuram. Melkote is the fourth important Divyadeshams in the 108 Divyadeshams. Sriranga Mangalanidham Karunanivasam, Shri Venkatadri Shikaralaya Kalamedham, Shri Hastishaila Shikarojjara Parijatam, Shri Shannamami Shirasa Yadushaila Deepam. The fourth important Divyadesham, Jnana Mandapam, is Melkote. You might have heard that great darshan. It is quite close to Pandavapura, Mysore, Mandya, Mysore, Srirangapatna, Pandavapura, then on to Yadavagiri. The mountain there is known as Yadavadri Jnana Mandapa. Moola Murti is Tirunarana Perumal. Utsava Murti is Ramapriya. They were all too ancient. But somehow, to the agony of the Bhaktas, both Moola Murti and Utsava Murti were not there. They were not found. They were missing. Where did they go? Moola Murti was buried under the ground. Utsava Murti was taken away by a Badshah towards Delhi. When Ramanuja visits, he did not find anyone. First he found Tirunarana Perumal Moola Murti, consecrated him, created all the sanctum sanctorum, the prakaram, everything. Then he did not find Ramapriyan there. People said, he has been taken away by a Delhi Badshah. You will have to visit Delhi if you want to get back. we have to get back all the statues. There are many vigrahams, deities. London la irukku, anga irukku, anga irukku, get back in Ralandu. Adho laksha irundha rendu varum. Avladhaan varumnu vechunga. Adha pole Ramanuja had to regain the lost Ramapriya. He went with his disciples. He visited Delhi Badshah, requested him, do you have it in your bounty, in your booty? You have brought lot of vigrahams. He went and searched in his godown. No, your vigraham is not here. Then they visited the place, the Antapuram of his daughter. The princess was a little girl. The girl was beautiful. She had a few deities in her bedroom. Ramanuja and the Raja visit there. The Raja saw, if Ramanuja, if you have your deity here, just call him. Yes, Ramanuja found to his surprise that his Ramapriyan was very much in the court of that girl. Ramanuja requested, oh princess, can you return my God to me? She said, he is now my God. Why are you calling him as your God? He is not exclusive to you. He is a common God, and I am so fond of him. I love him. I have fallen in love with him. So he will be with me always. But Ramanuja said, but he belongs to that place. He will have to go back to that place. He has been consecrated there. The girl said, you call out for him. If he chooses you, he will come with you. If he refuses, he will be with me. Ramanuja called out, Koyir Pillai Inge Potharai. Inge Potharai, Sharangabani Talarnada Nadavano, Chakarabani Nadavano, Vanba Varga Varga Inge, Vamana Nambi Varga. Oh Vamana Nambi, can you walk and come to me? Oh Nambi, can you crawl and come to me? Oh Trivikramavatara, can you measure and come to me? You are Vamana the dwarf. Can you come to me as a dwarf? You are Krishna who slept in the cradle. Can you now come crawling to me? You are Trivikrama who measured this world. It won't take so many measures to reach me. Can you reach me? When Ramanuja affectionately called to Bhagavan, he stood up, he climbed down from the cart, and slowly, steadily, with all his anklets and all his jewelry dangling and raising melodious voice, now as Bhagavan came, sat in the lap of Swami Ramanuja. Ramanuja embraced as though he was his son. Ramanuja, with love and affection, embraced the Murti. So that Murti today, this posture where one God, the deity, a little deity, sitting in the lap of Ramanuja, this posture is Yatiraja Sampat Kumara posture. Yatiraja Ramanuja. Sampat Kumara. Sampat, Shelvam. Wealth is Sampat. In Tamil it is Shelvam. Kumara, Pillai. He was the Ramapriyan was known as Shelva Pillai. In Sanskrit he was known as Yatiraja Sampat Kumara. Shelva Pillai, the fond child of Ramanuja. The loving child of Ramanuja was Shelva Pillai. Even today he is called as Shelva Pillai. Ramapriya is the original name, but we call him with utmost love as Shelva Pillai. With the Shelva per Vekimatama, Ada Pola was Shelva Pillai in Shalapadra. So he became from that day to be known as Shelva Pillai of Ramanuja. Now he has a son. Although he is a sannyasi, he now has a son. Swami, did he get this son? No, not at all. But he has a son. Ramanuja had originally, he had a father, Keshava Somayaji, mother, Kantimati Ammayar. He had a wife too, but he had abandoned all of them. Now he has a fresh set of people. The surprise here is, the same father and mother who were Shella Pillai and Yadugiri Nachiyar, they are now his son and daughter-in-law. Ramanuja has a son, Shella Pillai. Then who would be the daughter-in-law? Certainly the wife of his son. Adi Arunal, Yadugiri Nachiyar, Kalyani Tayar. If you visit Melkotai, Ramanuja is here. When we enter the main gate in the Mahagopuram, direct is Shellapillai Sannadhi. To the right is Ramanuja Sannadhi. Here is Shellapillai. Here is Ramanuja. There is the consort of Shellapillai, Mahalakshmi Tayar, Yadugiri Nachiyar. Yadugiri Nachiyar has to directly face Ramanuja Sannadhi. And she doesn't face like this. She doesn't hold her head high. Instead, she bows down. She is so shy looking at Mamanar. Ramanuja is the father-in-law of the daughter-in-law, Mahalakshmi Tayar. Can you look straight to the face, look eye to eye your Mamanar? Can you call him by your name, by his name? Can you look at him straight? You should not. Should not. Mahalakshmi is willing to follow. Whether we follow or not, we don't know. But Mahalakshmi, the universal mother, is willing to respect his Mamanar, her Mamanar. So she never looks direct. Instead, her eyes would be lowered. She would only looking to the ground. To respect Mamanar, to respect the father-in-law, she does. So Ramanuja has a son, Ramanuja has a daughter-in-law, a younger brother, younger sister, a nephew, and lastly, he had another son too. Not only this son, he had another two sons. Let me name two more. One, Tirukkurugai Pillan. Pillan was the one who wrote the first glorious commentary to Nammalvar's Thiruvaimozhi. Thiruvaimozhi's first commentary was Arayirappadi. Padi is a measure, the number of characters. If you write a commentary, they counted the characters even. Today it is very easy. As whenever you type in your sheet, counts the characters, which space, without space, number of words, number of sentences, number of paragraph, everything. If you are grammatically wrong, if the mistake is acceptable, it's a little blue line. If it's a blunder, then a big red line. Ada potu, don't you know grammar? Why do you depend on me? Idu kuda theriyadu eludhu vandiyengirudhu. Appa sollamallo. Those days you don't have these facilities. But still they counted the number of letters. Every 32 letters made one padi. If it's Arayira padi, they had 6,000 multiplied by 32 letters. That's Arayira padi. Then 9,000 padi, 12,000 padi, 24,000 padi, 36,000 padi. 36,000 padi will have sets of 36,032 letters. So how did they count? It was all in palm leaf. They only wrote in palm leaf. If at all one palm leaf broke, then you can't continue. You can't edit or do anything. You will have to take another palm leaf right from the beginning. They didn't have light after 6 p.m. They don't have any computer to compose anything. It is not even a printing machine. It's only a palm leaf. But they have written books and books and books worth Himachal. Swamy, we are not even able to read those books. They have written those books. Namak, we have time till next day morning 6 a.m. because it is all flood lit here. Yapavana Panlam. And we have computer to edit. Your PDF can be edited. Everything is in your laptop. It's all in your iPad. You have all Nalaya, Prabandham, Vyakhyanam, everything. All are available. That's the problem. If these were not available, you would have tried your best to make them available. Now that they are all available, so Ramanuja, in fact, the daughter-in-law of Ramanuja was Yadugiri Nachiyar. Ramanuja's son was Tirukkurugai Pillan, Abhimana Putra. Ramanuja was so loving Tirukkurugai Pillan as his own son. So Abhimana Putra. There is one other last son. We will have to conclude the upanyasam with Tiruvangadamudiyan here. He is the presiding deity. And Andal sung 10 passurams, sending clouds as messengers to Tiruvangadamudiyan. Megaviduthudunu solluvom. Vinnila melappu virittar pol megangal. Megangal, oh dark clouds, can you take my message to Tiruvangadamudiyan? Pennirmai idazhikku idu tahadu. Tell him that he cannot be so cruel towards females, not cruel towards women. Rama knew the agony of women, whereas Krishna was so happy about agonizing women. Rama was manattikiniyan as per Andal, but Krishna was pennin varuttam ariyada peruman. One who never recognizes the pain of girls is Krishna. One who is so good towards girls is Rama. So now Swamy, girl. Why do you talk about Rama and girls? It's only girl. Rama ekadara vrata. Na tappa channa kuda povundru Sita. So Rama was good to women, not women. Plural illa Swamy. Oru Sita. But Krishna, although he married so many, not good to any. He married many. She calls Rama as Manattikiniyan and Krishna as Pennin Varuttam Ariyada Peruman. Venkatesha was the son of Ramanuja. How did that happen? Venkatesha's father-in-law was Akasha Raja. Akasha Raja gifted Nagabharanams to Tiruvangadamudiyan. Even today, he wears Nagabharanam in his forearm. Nagabharanam is a typical Abharanam of Paramashiva, not a typical Abharanam of Vishnu. However, since it was gifted by father-in-law, Bhagavan could not refuse. That will create problem in the family. So he did not. At the Yappuvume, he was wearing it. This was first. Second, Bhagavan's very intimate disciple was Tondaman Chakravarti. Bhagavan gifted his Shankha Chakra to Tondaman Chakravarti so that he could win wars. He went on battle. He fought with his enemies. So Bhagavan gifted his Shankha Chakra. He was not holding his divine conch and discus. This was the second problem. There is a third problem. Bilva flowers, Bilva Dala leaves were offered to God during his Archana. Bilva flower is also typical of Paramashiva. So 1, Bilva Pushpam, 2, Nagabharanam, 3, not holding the Shankha Chakra. When Shaiva saw all these three, they claimed that this deity must be Shiva and not Venkatesha. This deity must be Lord Shiva or Skanda and certainly not Vishnu, as the marks of Vishnu are not found in him. All the marks, the identification of Shiva is found in him, not Vishnu. Ramanuja had to rush from Srirangam. He debated with them. They could not listen to him. They would not. Instead, Ramanuja said, I can't talk about scriptures with them. Instead, let me show them physically. So he called for the weapons of Shiva and the weapons of Vishnu. Weapons of Vishnu, the Shankha and Chakra. Of Shiva, he kept all the four weapons inside the Garbhagraha, closed the door and prayed to God, whoever you are, hold them. If you are Shiva, hold your weapons. If you are Vishnu, hold your weapons. When the doors were opened, Bhagavan was holding his divine conch and discussed, அப்பனுக்கு சங்காழி அளித்தவன். அப்பன் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் திருமலை அப்பன். சங்கு ஆழி அளித்தவன். Ambirumana Ramanuja blessed him with Shankha and Chakra. Shangu ஆழி அளித்தவன். Who offers Shankha Chakra to whom? Acharya offers Shankha Chakra to a Shishya. So here, Tirumalayappan Srinivasa becomes the disciple of Ramanuja. As Ramanuja offered Shankha Chakram to Tirumalayappan, he becomes a disciple. Disciple is known as a son in Sampradaya. Any Shishya is equal to a Putra. Shishya and Putra are equal. Acharya and father are equal. After all, my father gave me a physical birth. Acharya gives me a birth of wisdom. My wisdom is born by an Acharya. So he is also my father. I am born physically through my father. So he is my biological father. But the father of my knowledge, who blessed me with knowledge? Acharya. So I am also a son of my Acharya. A disciple is the son. Tirumalayappan Srinivasa became the disciple of Ramanuja. So he is the son of Ramanuja. What else do we want now? Ramanuja has all relatives possible. Kodacha, Jnana, Tirupavai Padiya, Pavai, Tangai, Andal, the younger sister. Vadukkuvalla Andan, Marumahan, Mudali Andan, the nephew. Tambi, Yambar, cousin brother, younger brother is Yambar Govinda Perumal. Tidacha Jnana, Chelva Pillayo, Maindan. Tidacha Jnana, Chella Pillai, Ramapriyan, the deity of Melakotai, Maindan, son. Yedukku Ramanujana Yeti Yendru, Iyambuvadu Irunilame. Why are we calling Ramanuja as a Yati, as a renounced? Has he renounced anyone? He has renounced everything. Not for any material pleasure. But all this happened he was related to God and all these relatives were through God. Nothing was direct because they were not directly related to him by his family. They were 1. Embar, 2. Marumahan Mudali Andan. Although they were related, Ramanuja did not hold on to them just because they were family members. But he held on to them as they helped him in Bhagavat Bhagavata Acharya Kainkaryam. Now lastly, how do we get related to Ramanuja? Swami, they were all related. But I wish I am also related to him. There are many ways specified in Guru Parampara Prabhava. Either you get Pancha Samskaram through your Acharya. Ramanuja laid a beautiful system. He established 74 Simhasanadhipatis and many of them have descendants even today. You can approach any one of them and surrender to their feet. They've done Pancha Samskaram is offered by them. They offer a Shankha, Chakra, Lanchana in our forearm. அதுதான் பஞ்ச சம்ஸ்காரம்ங்கிறத முக்கியமா சொல்றோம். So Ramanuja's disciples, 74 acharyas, do conduct pancha samskaram even today. It is then we are blessed with rahasyatrayam, Tirumantram, the Ashtakshari mantra, Dvayam, Charamashlokam. All are given, they are preached only during pancha samskaram. If you don't have that initiation, the initiation process in Shiva Vaishnavism is pancha samskaram. If you don't have, then we are not eligible to recite, chant the mantra, Dvayam, Tirumantram or Charamashlokam. You are not authorized to do. So if I do, what will happen? No benefit. If you have to be benefited, then it should be through the proper channel. The proper channel are 74 Simhasanadhipatis. If we are related through these 74 Simhasana, any one of them, then we become the disciples and Putra, the sons of Ramanuja. Or have his little deity at home. The small deity of Ramanuja, Aradhanam to Ramanuja deity. Or say, Adiyen Ramanuja Dasan. Study the books, the works of Swamy Ramanuja. At least sing his holy names. There are many ways specified to get related to Ramanuja and become his disciple, become his son and daughter. So we can all become his son and daughter, provided we are related to him in one or more ways. So he has all relatives. Bhagavan Srinivasa, himself the foremost relative. We are the last relative. If we are related to him, Ramanuja Sambandhi. If we all become a Ramanuja Sambandhi, then recite his holy names. Bhagavan is so pleased with our action and blesses us all. The very purpose of Venkatesha descending from Vaikuntham to this material world is to make us mumukshu. Ramanuja's purpose is also the same, to transform us all to become mumukshus. Let them become one and offer our glorious service to Lord Venkatesha here and Swami Ramanuja with these words. Shriya Kantaya Kalyana Nithayettina Shri Venkata Nivasaya Srinivasaya Mangalam Shriman Mahabhutapure Srimad Keshavaya Junaha Kantimatyam Prasutaya Yatirajaya Mangalam Srimate Ramyajamatru Munindraya Mahatmane Shriranga Vasine Bhuyad Nitya Shri Nitya Mangalam.